Hi, welcome to another video on my Raspberry Pi 2 using Ubuntu Linux and the robot operating system. Last time I encountered a few problems, and one of the problems was that I measured the voltage over this circuit, and it turned out that that voltage was way too low to drive a motor, at least the motor that I used, which is this one. Now, in an experiment, I exchanged another motor for this motor, and that other motor was this one. And if you watch my other videos, then you will recognize this type of motor. Also from fischertechnik, but a different type. And it turned out that while this one worked, this one does not. So what I am going to try first is to see if with this transistor reinstalled right here, if this motor will work. So let's first do that. Remove this motor. Then put this motor in place somehow, somewhere, but also, of course, let me give some light. Put this transistor in place, very important. And now the question is a little bit, where should I put it? Because now it is completely bound to mass, and for this experiment I need to relocate this LED to these two holes in order to accommodate the transistor. And it is not going quite as I intend it to do. Let's see if this one has to go to the base, then this LED has to stay like here. This one goes here, but then this wire has to shift one lane like this, and now it is fit to run. So then this wire from the motor goes into the plus, and this wire goes not here, not here, because that is obviously a nice one, but it should go here. So now we have a construction again, and let's see with rolling the software if everything works as nicely as it should. So let me put this one here, resize this window, publisher, subscriber. Yes. Oh, and one thing, of course, what I did last time, and I ended with that, is overruling the switch, so it always gives 1. And that means that this motor should always run, which it obviously does not do. So a little look at other circuits tells me that I am doing it right, which means that also for this motor the voltage is too low. And yes, because the output of the GPIO is 3.3 volts, here it is 1.5 volt, which is too low apparently for even this motor to run. So does this motor even run? Yes, no doubt about that. So that experiment has failed. Back to the former conclusion, I have to see if ROS works on this LED. With this little experiment failed, let's remove this motor altogether. And obviously this motor goes as well, leaving with yeah, a transistor which has no use anymore. So let's definitely remove it. Then this wire can shift a lane, and then the question is, does this work? That is a very good question. So far you can see that in this monitor everything is 1, here everything is 1, and that is because here in the publisher the variable is hard coded to 1, which means that everything is 1. Back to the camera view. When I dim the light a bit, it is quite obvious that the LED, this one, isn't doing a thing. So why would it? It has to be put to MOS, obviously. What if I take out one or another LED? Now this is working. So when I bridge this LED or take it out, this one is working. Now when I take out which raises the question if this LED is correct anyway. But when I... oh, that's a very good one, by the way. So if I put the motor in without this LED, what happens then? That is a very interesting one. Let's do that before going any further. So where is my transistor? Right here. I put it in here. So now this is in place, that is in place. Let's put the wire in here. This is obviously working, but I need to say more. the motor isn't doing anything while this LED is burning. So the signal is positive, but still no motor. Ouch. So done for this very quick short experiment. Away with this one. So now back to the LED testing. I wonder if you can now you can see something. Now it is time to change the code to whatever. Well, not 1 anyway. Like this. No, I can put it to 0. Let's do that. Because here it will take the value of the switch. So let's see how that works. Or not. Then quit and run again. Now I'm very curious. Okay, it takes immediately 1, which is not correct because I'm not pressing the switch. Now I'm pressing the switch, as you can see from this LED. Oh, I have to give a clear image. So this LED shows that I am actually pressing the switch. And upon 0, which you can see here, this LED isn't doing anything. So this one, And upon change from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0, this LED should do something. And needless to say, it is not. Big ouch. So what next? Now, although this has been changed without any real effect at the first glance, what you can see now is here this LED going on and off, which is, by the way, consistent more or less with this data, off and on. So I don't need to check the voltage. This is going alright. The problem is just that right now the switch, which is located here right now, doesn't do anything. Well, it does do anything, but instead of being constantly 0, it's mostly 1. And that is not true. Not pressed, indicating pressed. More important at this moment, I think, is the conclusion that this somehow does work. And then it is rather tempting to put in the transistor back, put the motor back, and see whatever happens. Very tempting indeed. But it didn't work when the LED was burning constantly, so that is not really up to it. What I can do, by the way, is fetching a multimeter and measure the voltage over it. So let us just do that. this is the MOS and a probe, and then I need to, let's see if this works visually. I'm afraid it won't, not quite like that. You have some visual, but not all of it. And this is not practical at all. Oops. But at least I can do something like this. Showing 0, and I am measuring right there. So now you can see that with the LED burning, it gives 2.25 volts maximum. Which is more than the 1.3 volts that I expected and less than the 3.3 volts that it is supposedly to give. And I'm measuring before the LED. So the voltage that you just saw is coming straight from the GPIO. And that is remarkable. So with 2.2 volts, which is absolutely not enough for the motor to run, as far as I know. And that has proven not to be. So what can we do about that? I can still press this, but as you can see, it has no effect whatsoever, because the results in the upper terminal window clearly says 0. I'm releasing it, it says 1. I'm pressing it, and it switches between 1 and 0, and now it says 1. So I think the next point is, does the switch even work? Is it configured correctly? That's a very good question. Focus is on that one. So let's go there. So next thing is checking this part. Is this switch, with this being the entrance to the GPIO, actually doing what it is supposed to do? Let's put in the wire correctly. Then measuring here gives 0 volts. Oh, I need to make sure that the MOS probe is properly connected. So measuring here, it says 0.4 volts, 0.41, and it is not connected, it's not pressed. I am pressing it right now. It goes to 0.0. Now it is 0.38, 0.01, 0.01, yes, now it's 0.34. So after the resistor, it is now 0.38. Pressing the switch gives 0.01. So now it's without pressing, it is high. Is that logical? Oh wait, I am making a mistake now. I just pulled 2 wires out, but that doesn't matter for the circuit. Not really. This has to be in what was the output? I have to check on this first. The output is 7, so this one needs to go into 7. And the input is 12, and this is the checking input. They go out too easily. This is 12, 7, 8, 10, 12. Alright, now the wires are correct again. But revealing is that when the switch is not pressed, the voltage is high. So that is exactly the opposite way that I thought it would be. And that may cause confusion, of course. So this is the signal, and maybe I should, oops, I'm obstructing the view. So these 2 wires may be in the wrong place. And now one doesn't do anything anymore. Very nice. So that's another problem. How do I get a high signal when I press the switch? Probably by switching those connectors. So let's do that first. When comparing this situation with the switch to other circuits I've made, I have changed it to the other side. I had it like this, and now I have it, let me put it better, I had it like here, and now I have it like here. Not too much of a difference, you would think, but this is easily comparable to the other ones I have. Another change I made is that I pulled the resistor out of this power line. Now it gets the full power. That said, if I still measure this one, and now the switch is not pressed, I still measure a half volt. When I press it, it goes to 0. And a half volt is, I think, way below the level of being 1. So the question is, with 5 volts here, ground here, or the question is that even ground? I can measure it, of course, and then the other probe should be in. So is this even? No, this is not a half volt. This is a half volt, not 0. When I measure here, it is 0. So let me take this LED out of it. I can do it easier by plugging this wire right here, so it doesn't go via the LED. So let me measure again. Now it is 0 volts because it is directly connected to this resistor. So let's measure again here at the switch, right here. And now it measures absolutely nothing. Nothing and nothing. So there still is a problem, and a big one. I pulled a wire again. I shouldn't do that, but I think the main problem is now how to actually make the wiring having such a voltage that it is actually seen as 1, so that also this LED functions normally, because it did, and now it doesn't do it anymore. Everything is 0 now. Here everything is 1. So this is 0. This is 1, which isn't correct either. And it I think it all comes down to this switch. But how to solve it? That's a very good question. I'm not quite sure. It should be the same with all the other circuits. And I have quite a few switches right now that work. So why doesn't this work? Not a clue yet. There's another idea. Is this does the input of the GPIO really have a minimum level? I think so. I think so. But that's for next time. For now, no motor. LED works on 1 and 0. I changed the wiring a bit. I removed an LED from the voltage for the switch, but the switch is not working properly, not wired properly somehow. So things to be thought of and changed somehow, but how? Thank you for watching. If you like this video and maybe my other videos as well, and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to this video or to my channel, even better. If you like enough, please see my website for ways to keep my blog going by donation. And this is certainly going to be continued. Bye bye.